There we go. We're live. Okay. It's been a while since we did this. Just you and I. With we did two of them, and at least one of them had was very controversial. Got a lot of upvotes and downvotes on one of them. So um, the topic is and I'm still getting comments from time to time on that older video, even though pretty small.
Which one? The
Um,
Marisu one?
I think it was the first one where we discussed the movie in depth and kind of criticized the lazy storytelling. And in the second one, we discussed how Ray was a Mary Sue. Um, and now with the new Ghostbusters, do you kind of see the kind of it's not directly a link, but it's kind of the same. Even though the movie is not, to be fair, the movie has.
You had the same white knighting essentially. The same I was gonna say the same straw man being thrown at it. The only reason anyone has issues with the Force Awakens is because of the old just Saturday morning cartoon villain misogyny, which is really the only way to describe it. It's a scapegoat to really escape any kind of criticism. And that's what it is. And um, you know, I God, why am I even mentioning this? So someone linked me Bob's video, movie blob, and it's like it was almost almost that hint of self awareness. It's just like this almost it's just almost got it, but no, it's
Far away.
yeah. I mean, the movie is going to be shit, really, on its own merits. I mean, there's really there's not much. God, I mean, imagine if the movie wasn't, hosting all women for whatever reason. What would you think of the movie then? Right? It's that simple. It's like, well, is it gonna end up like pretty much every other remake that we've seen recently? Okay, it's gonna be shit. Great. Now, what is it about those women that changes that, if anything? Um, a couple of them are good comedians. No, at least actually, yeah, all of them have done work on Saturday Night Live. They're not bad comedians. I mean, they're not my favorite. It's just I don't think that between their talent and the director that there's enough there to really salvage, you know, everything the movie already has going against it, from the overuse of CGI to what looks to be a very convoluted plot to some very overused tropes. I mean, the writing is going to have to be this amazing, which I don't think it's going to be. It doesn't look like it. Performances, well, I mean, I expect they're not bad actresses, and they're decent comedians. It's just I don't think it's gonna be. It's like Nicolas Cage, right? Nicolas Cage is an amazing actor, but some of the movies he's in, it's just Nicolas Cage can't save him, right? Similar situation here. There's so much wrong. Oh, go on.
You know, I mean, you can have the greatest actors. You could have Russell Crowe. You could have Leonardo DiCaprio. You could have other amazing actresses and actors in a movie, but they won't save a shitty script or a shitty movie. Like if I don't think The Room would have been a little bit better, but it would have been just a bigger disaster if someone good was in
God, can you imagine Nicolas Cage in the room?
it. That would be amazing to watch, actually.
Actually, did you know that Tommy Wiseau was supposed to be one of the main villains in what's it, Samurai Cop 2? Apparently, I saw the
Really?
trailer. I saw the trailer for that. Oh Lord, it's it's precious. I mean, they're going a little try hard with it, but it's I'm I would see it. I can't wait for it. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Ghostbusters has a
Yeah,
lot going against it, and I don't think even if you are even if you admire those women and think their work is great, I don't think that they are enough to save everything that looks to be wrong with this movie before it even gets off the fucking ground. But I'm surprised people are still trying to throw this, this old lazy white knight response at Star Wars, though. I mean, and I think it's tragic too because I like the actors. I think the actors are great. I like them off screen too. I think they're amazing and they're really into their roles, and it's good to see that. It's um I mean, I want to say most of the fault lies with J.J. Abrams because of his very lazy approach when it comes to rebooting or continuing franchises. But I mean, it's just it's tragic because people are using these excuses to blow off criticism, and it's encouraging very bad behavior from filmmakers because they can do things like this. They can just say, "Oh, well, I have a really shitty idea, but I throw some women behind it, and I get some minimum of people that are willing to jump up and defend my idea no matter what." Because you know, it's just this idea behind a culture war. It's not what it used to be, and some of these millennials are, it's not even the millennials because these people aren't young. I mean, movie buff is not a millennial. A lot of these would be social justice warrior types. They're not millennials. They're fucking 30, fucking 40 years old. Right there. I almost want to say that some of them are Generation X, like me, and some of them are right after. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
I mean, this whole misogyny argument has been used for uh, the Ghostbusters alone. I mean, when you consider something that bombed at or is critically crapped on, eh, let's take a look at Zoolander, which bombed at the box office. Nobody said it was because of misandry or shit like that. Even though we had some of the like transphobic jokes or something because Benedict Cumberbatch was a transgender and yeah,
Yeah,
feminists had to out.
I that was forgettable because that movie didn't really get enough publicity as it was, and what little it did get was mostly because of that. It, and it's like they didn't even look at or consider the opportunity or the potential behind having a trans character actually represented in media like this. And they didn't even, I mean, it's not like it was a bad character either. And especially if you look at some of these people pushing what's it, that Gen Z or whatever, the people that were trying to pilot this show off of having a transgender voice actress or something. Like that really makes a fucking difference. But yeah, it's shit. It's whatever. But some people really need to make up their minds on whether they want this kind of representation or whether they don't. Because I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you can't look at every black actor, every black performance, and expect all of them to be, above a certain bar. It's not how it works. I mean, when we look at like the '70s and the '80s, um, a lot of black actors, the bar was not very high at all. I mean, they were mostly sidekick roles. They had a they're very typecast. And then you hit the point. You hit the Chris Tucker era where he just dialed it up to 11, and now you never see anything like that again, which is good and bad. Um, but if you want to see other representations, I mean, this is the way Hollywood trends to work. You're gonna have that. You're gonna see attempts at it that are going to be shitty. You gotta let them go. I mean, you can't just completely blast them and not give them a chance like that because then they're not going to bother with it again. You can't do that. I don't I don't know what these fucking people want anymore. I mean, I'm about as liberal as it gets, and I have some friends that are in those circles, and I've actually grown distant from a few of them over the past year or two. Um, Likely because I'm graduating soon, but still, it's just I don't know what the deal is. I mean, you have a bunch of people who each have their own little ideas, their own little agendas, their own little goals, and they just sort of blindly support each other in everything that they do in this sort of vicious, awkward feedback loop. And it gets to a point where, the result of it is this sort of half-ass piece of everything that no one's really happy with, but everyone feels that they have to go all in on, otherwise they get nothing, right? It's 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 gonna be some sort of real catastrophic failure of that sort of system. It's gonna be heartbreaking, but for some people, I mean, that's what they need before they learn anything. It's I don't know what else to say about it. I am getting way off topic here, but I'm sorry.
Well, it's not that off topic because it's the whole thing with Ghostbusters and why constantly, even now, getting into discussions about Ray from Star Wars, is because um, in this particular recent argument, I even invited this guy on stream because he was saying that I wasn't using the no true Scotsman fallacy. That I wasn't a real Star Wars fan, and I didn't know the lore or had any knowledge. Even though I've watched all movies countless times, I watched the Star Wars Clone Wars twice, and all the episodes of Star Wars Rebels, and even listened to some of the audiobooks. And it's to say something like this, kind of insulting to say the least. But the discussion I had with this guy was that it was kind of related to another character. I'm not going to spoil anything around it because I read an article about this which spoiled fucking Uncharted 4 for me. Even no spoiler or nothing. I just scrolled down and like it was an injury, and Neil Druckmann just fucking spoiled the big plot twist of Uncharted 4. Anyways, there's a
I'm sorry.
there's a don't get me. I'm gonna get pissed just thinking about it. Anyways,
I
um,
had Star Wars.
there is a scene. It kind of is the same as Ray when she force pulls the lightsaber. Because in Uncharted 4 you have Nathan and his brother. There was a clip from it, I believe, released. I think it was the first clip, like the cinematic clip released from the game, where Nathan gets into fight with a woman. Nathan has fights basically hundreds, if not thousands, of guys within a game, and he's had three of them now, a fourth one. This there's a quick timing event, and both these guys who are very equipped to handle these situations get their fucking asses beat like nothing else. They there's a quick time event even going on there, and they get their asses beat. And I'm just saying right there, Mary Sue like feature that of a character when basically I would even state that Nathan Drake is a Gary Stu because he just he's good at everything basically.
He is, but they don't really hide that. That's his thing.
Yeah, yeah. But then suddenly this woman comes, and she just beats the crap out of both of them, and they even punch her, and she effects of two guys who are combined probably 150 pounds more than her, and she still beats their ass.
There's some gimmick to it. I mean, that's just lazy writing, really. Just I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a woman or not. Just doing anything like that. It's just it's very, it's if you're familiar with Star Trek, it's the Worf effect, right? It's the idea that in order to make a person or a villain or a threat seem very powerful, the first thing you do is have it walk up and beat up somebody that is already established to be powerful, right? It's like there's nothing about the character on their own as they're presented as as in terms of anything else they've done in terms of who they are that's threatening. They don't bother to establish any of that. They just throw them in out of left field and have them beat up somebody else that is already strong in order to establish them as, oh, he's a threat now. But it's lazy. It's lazy. It's just fucking lazy. No matter who you do it with. And the problem with women um, placed in these roles is that you have people that are looking to excuse that for very bad reasons, and it's like you don't want to do that. You, you do not want to encourage lazy writing with women. Don't let them get away with that. In the long term, it's going to have bad consequences because um, you're gonna see it more. You're gonna see a lot more just lazy insertion of women that people will overlook because of very trivial things like that, and you're gonna end up with very shitty characters representing women, and it's gonna hit the point where people are you're gonna start seeing like articles and whatnot posted about, oh, it's a problem with misogyny, whatever, and it's like, no, it's not. It's a problem with you idiots encouraging very bad character development in women because I don't even fucking know why anymore. I don't know I don't know what the fuck they're even doing anymore. It's just it, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean it's like the people are defending Ghostbusters and they're defending Ray because they think that they have to, or that there's something greater at stake, or that there's some part of something greater involved in defending this. And it's like, no, there's not. So it's shitty writing, it's shitty development, it's shitty direction. The actors are great, the character concepts are all right, but people can only work with what they're given. So demand that they be given better. I mean, you don't just try to excuse Ray being written off as a Mary Sue. You demand better. You say there are better ways you could have done this with Ray. Make it better. You don't just say, oh, let it pass and then let Ray get fucking dialed up to fucking 11 with even more bullshit in the sequel. You do not do that. Because it's just going to reach a point where even the people who have been defending it so long are going to turn on it. They always turn on it. They always eat their fucking own at the end of it. Um, we've seen that time and time again. It's just
And
go on.
because the defense, this guy said I'm quoting here, the character is made to be a superior fighter. That doesn't make them a Mary Sue. it's kind of
It's no. It's not just the fact that they're a superior fighter. It's the presentation. This character comes out of the blue, beats up two very strong people. We know nothing about this character. I mean, we're taking this in isolation because we only have what's presented to us in the media. No one knows some person out of the blue comes up and just beats up two people that, for all intents and purposes, should not get their asses handed to them like this. So normally you would expect some kind of gimmick, some kind of explanation. I mean, the first thought isn't, oh, this person is very highly trained martial artist. They're just that good. That's not really the first explanation you come to. And it's something that you can sort of let pass because you presume that there's something else unexplained to it. But usually what happens is it goes on and they're saying, well, there's no gimmick to it. They're just that good. Okay, that's fucking lazy. Okay, that is fucking lazy. You
yeah.
haven't developed a character. You haven't established the fact that there is even someone that much better than your protagonist out here. And so just to have this come out of the fucking blue like that, it's lazy. It's lazy. There's no reason to believe that this person would be a better martial artist out of fucking blue. I mean, who is this guy or girl or whoever? It doesn't matter. You don't just do that. It's lazy. You don't accept that. You don't encourage that. You don't let people get away with that. I mean, it was a running theme in Star Trek, and that shit was just it was literally a joke past the point. Literally a joke. Because if you keep on doing that, you end up with what they call the Worf effect. Worf is supposed to be this great, powerful, mighty Klingon, but he was a joke because the next time a threat popped up, he's the first person that would get decked just to establish that the bad guy is a threat, right? You don't want to do that to your heroes.
Yeah, and there's a guy called David Stewart. He's really good. I believe he's a a lecturer at a university, or he's a teacher somehow. I'm not sure of his profession, but he goes in this and he says, if you can't establish um, why a character is a way, or the motivations or the skills in a movie, and you have to have an additional film to fix the things like they're doing with Star Wars, then you've written a lazy character. uh, and that's what they did with this Nadine character and with Ray. Because here in the as I pulled up the conversation, I'm not going to dox the guy, but here, because he made the other arguments, this lazy argument that isn't even explained in the movie, but when people draw their own conclusions to make the plot make sense, that doesn't say good storytelling. So here he says, if you understand Star Wars, then you know that the Force was guiding her as she was a willing vessel.
No, no,
Only
fucking no, no, stop, no, 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 no. Get that new
okay.
Jedi Order fucking dumb shit. No, no, that's not how it works. No, no, stop. No, no.
Just with this, that makes it like she is Anakin reborn, which was never fucking stated. With
She was Anakin
Anakin,
reborn. If she was Anakin reborn, why did her arm not just get its shit lobbed off? Because that's what happened to Anakin.
even
Remember his
he
first
who was so,
lightsaber fight?
even he who was so powerful, he got owned against Dooku, and he had no skills except for his um, piloting, and even he got his ass saved by R2D2 in the first movie. So he had no really skills or powers other than that. So that she was a willing vessel. She didn't even know of the Force, that she was Force sensitive until she touched the lightsaber, and that changed everything. Which makes no fucking sense because in an established lore, there are no items that have In the expanded universe, yes, that was actually explained in depth. Here,
Kind of. I mean, it's not that the expanded universe explained it in depth. It's that something similar to this kind of happened in the expanded universe. So you have a reference for it. You have a context in which it can make sense. Nothing in the movie really explained that. And again, drawing that parallel to Anakin, when Anakin fought Dooku, um, Anakin wasn't, some Trump right out of the academy at that point. Anakin was trained. He had killed fucking people by that point. I mean, he was a Jedi. Um, oh God, I remember the sequel. The prequel series, Clone Wars, by the guy that did Samurai Jack. that that was amazing. By the way, I think that's probably my
yeah,
favorite animated series when it comes to Star Wars. I like it better than the new Clone Wars, but anyways, tangent. But yeah, Anakin got his ass kicked in a lightsaber fight by a Sith apprentice, and this is when Anakin was trained and had managed to exercise some potential with the Force. Rey has literally nothing, like, literally nothing. She went from, I mean, just remember, it's not even a day prior, the Force was a myth, and now she's fucking Force pulling, mind tricking, and outclassing the apprentice of Luke Skywalker and a Sith Lord. I mean, do we not understand? Kylo Ren should have been unstoppable. It's just
yeah,
no
yeah.
excuse.
We tested.
We've got
We
Kylo.
should have been.
I mean, that was the Sith equivalent of going Super Saiyan. You just passed your final test. I mean, he just killed his father. You do not go further into the dark than that. Um, in the context of,
Other comparison is you remember the first Avengers, the fight between Iron Man
mm-hmm.
when Thor blasts the lightning into Iron Man and Iron Man gets supercharged. That's basically what Kylo Ren was at that point.
Yeah, that is kind of, wait, is that, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that is sort of what happened.
It's in the forest when they capture Loki.
Right.
Basically,
And it ends with,
Thor calls on the thunder and blasts it into Iron Man, and he gets like 300% power.
yeah, I
Which
remember that. He gets that little
yeah,
thing from Jarvis, and yeah, then it ends with shields.
which what should have happened because that's what happened to Anakin. He went all powerful.
Yeah, when he got
Even
he got pissed and he just started destroying shit. I remember. I was in episode 3 though. There's also a point before that in episode 2.
when he kills all the Sun people.
Well, remember, even Yoda had trouble taking down Dooku. Um,
Yeah, but it was clear he was stronger.
right, but just the fact that Anakin getting pissed off was able to even stand up to that. That's, I mean, we have a clear precedent for why Kylo Ren should have been fucking raging, unstoppably powerful.
Yeah.
We're talking about strictly within the media of prior movies. Oh my god, even Luke Skywalker, fucking in a rage, just out of the blue, went from getting all, getting his shit tripped up by Vader to just raging and completely turning the tables. We have a very clear precedent within the media from almost every major climatic battle throughout the series that people, people in that kind of situation, they don't just walk up and get fucking owned by some doofus with a lightsaber that barely knows how it works. I mean, oh god, even it's just even the Force mastery with the Force doesn't even translate to not directly translate the skills of lightsaber. I mean, those two are related, but being good with one doesn't necessarily make you good with the other. I mean, Mace Windu was amazing with the lightsaber. His force potential is nowhere near that of some of the others on the council. Um, sorry, go on.
No, because goes on here, saying Kylo Ren was not only physically weakened, but his connection with the Force was weakened as well. He was unbalanced. She was not, and then it says she was not perfect. Neither is Nadine. I've clearly stated that on previous occasions, which I'm also gonna bet is also gonna happen in Ghostbusters, where they're not gonna have any real threat. They're just gonna save the day. This is just my prediction. And just as we said, even though he had the shot from Chewbacca, he should have still wrecked shit against Ray and what's his name, Finn. Just wrecked Finn without any problems.
Now, I could understand him when he was very clearly toying with Finn, and I could see where that would backfire on him before he just decides to, okay, stop playing around and end it. That's the sense that I got with him and Finn.
Yeah, no, but he never should have even gotten a shot at him at how Super Saiyan he was at that point, basically.
Hmm. Um, oh, Jesus, he shouldn't have gotten that. So he's saying that Finn shouldn't have Finn shouldn't have managed to Kylo Ren.
That's me, but his quote again. Kylo Ren was not physically weakened, but his connection with the Force was weakened as well. He was unbalanced.
No, he's the exact opposite of unbalanced. He was fully into the dark side. I mean, he was unbalanced when he was dealing with Han Solo there because there was some actual controversy. There was conflict. And he very clearly resolved that. They even had the imagery of the light fading from the sun to just show you, yeah, he's dark side now. Here's your fucking Sith Lord. You know, that's it. I mean, that was the moral event horizon. There is no going back from that. I mean, Kylo Ren was fully immersed in the dark side. There's no trauma or anything unbalanced there. You knew damn well what he was doing. Now I can excuse Finn getting a shot in. That's my bias though, because I just God, if Finn isn't force sensitive in the next movie, I'm just gonna fucking in the fucking trash. Anyways, I can understand Kylo Ren toying around with Finn and then underestimating it and then getting it. You know, it's it, it's very clearly established that Kylo Ren is outclassing Finn, and that what Finn managed was mostly just a fluke because Kylo Ren didn't expect that out of him. Okay, sure. He did not really hold back against Rey, except right there at the very end. So there's not much to that makes any sense, really. I mean, at least Finn had picked up and used a lightsaber before that point in the movie. Okay, so there's something to why Finn would be able to hold up. But Rey, first time holding that lightsaber in her fucking life, no, that's not how it works. I mean, you remember Luke picking up a lightsaber for the first time? How well that go? I mean, it's just you could.
When he waved around on Tatooine in the cave of Obi-Wan, he just waves it around like he doesn't know what he's doing. He just thinks it's awesome.
All right, and gets zapped by that droid left and right when trying to learn to deflect. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Faye should have. Oh God, she should have. Ray should have gotten limbs just lopped off. Should have. They should have just let Chewbacca save the day, and the two of them barely get away. That's how it should have ended. That is how it should have ended. Because right now, what the fuck is Kylo Ren as a villain? He's nothing. I mean, Ray has no training, and she has literally nothing, and she already beat Kylo Ren, and she's only going to get better from that point on. I mean, how much further can Kylo Ren really go past that point?
Yeah,
Not
and he's 10 years older than her as well. It's been confirmed within the canon. And just to compare it again to the Ghostbusters, they're gonna use the old storyline of the first Ghostbusters, but I believe they're not gonna have any or anything going against them. I think they're just gonna go through everything, try to pull some slapstick humor, and not the old lore like they did with Star Wars. I think they're gonna be four Mary Sue, or at least three Mary Sues, and I don't even know what the fourth one is gonna be. But where they I think it's gonna be an interesting movie to watch from what I've seen. I don't know what
I don't think a lot of people are looking for it to be interesting. I think some people are just trying to just defend it for sake of defending it. You know, like Bob says, they're defending it because they believe that its detractors are horrible people and they don't want them to win. Like really, really, that's what your basis is for sticking up for this movie. That's your basis for excusing this filth. That's your basis for, you know, letting these people do something horrible with something that you love. That's it. Because somebody you don't like doesn't like it, so you just sort of have to stick up for it. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. And you deserve what you're gonna get when this movie comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue because I've seen these arguments. Because last time we didn't really have any arguments going against, so I'm using these as counterpoints to our discussion here. Here he says, "Have you not seen Clone Wars or Rebels? Read any novelization? That's Saber is a conduit. The crystal called to her."
That's not how it works. Sorry, go on.
Um, Well, in the Clone Wars, they had some younglings in season 6 where they went to a cave where they were Skywalkers, and they managed to use the Force to guide them to a crystal. But again, these younglings had training. Why she had the
No,
calling
that's not the
of
same thing. They use the Force to find a crystal that would resonate with them. That's how
yeah
that works. They use the Force to find a crystal that would work for them, something that they could work with. It wasn't the crystal calling out to them like it's fucking semi sentient. That's no, it's not how it works. I,
yeah fair enough. And here it says, "No, Anakin is not Kylo. Killing Han made him too emotional and put him in a weaker state.
no,
Why
no,
do you think he?"
too emotional is good. It's good. He is the dark side. That is, I mean, peace is a lie. It's in this fucking code. It is everything that should have made it more powerful. Right? That just being fucking ape shit, emotionally unstable is where the Sith draw their power from. That is why they're so fucking radically dangerous. That is why Kylo Ren should have been a fucking unstoppable beast. That is exactly the problem. You can't do that. Kylo Ren is not a Jedi. Okay, that is not a problem for him. That is good. Hell, I mean, the whole concept of Dun Mok is making the Jedi emotional because it will upset them. Because being emotional and giving in to your rage and your passions, that's what fuels the dark side. These are the things that make people fall. Right? You can't use his. I mean, that is every reason why Kylo Ren should have been way better off, not weaker. It is. I mean, what else? What the fuck else is there for Kylo Ren? If being super emotional and accomplishing sort of the one thing that he needed to accomplish to move on doesn't make him stronger, then what will? At what point can Kylo Ren really advance? How can he get any better? That was it. That was the pinnacle of his development. I mean, what the fuck else is he gonna do? He already got outclassed by some novice who's gonna go up to become a fucking super Jedi Master under Luke Skywalker. So what's Kylo Ren gonna be then? And what could he possibly fucking do to get better? Nothing. I mean, it's not much. There's that was Kylo Ren at near the peak of his potential, and he got outclassed by someone who literally had no fucking idea what they were doing. It's
I'm, I'm reading here from the chat. Van Fannel 1980 MX says Grievous used lightsabers, no force sensitive. Checkmate, Jedi.
oh shit. Oh, that's right. Grievous. I mean, that was to be fair, Grievous was trained by a Jedi. Grievous was trained.
But Duke,
Yeah. Okay. Not
he was
Jedi.
trained by Duke.
Yeah. Nice. You know what I mean. I mean, Dooku
Yeah.
was a Jedi before. You got trained by Jedi / Sith. Not that it fucking matters, but Grievous was trained very, very, very fucking well by someone who was very, very, very fucking good with lightsabers. And again, that's actually a very good point. Grievous had no connection to the Force. He was just very good with fucking lightsabers, and he was destroying Jedi left and right. Right?
Well, which again goes against to the lore that why the fuck should Rey have any skills with the lightsaber?
She doesn't. She doesn't. There's nothing that could help her. I mean, Finn actually used the lightsaber before this point. Rey literally just picked it up and so, oh, what's this? Right? It's just. I mean, she's learning how to. I mean, how? How? I mean, imagine, God, where's Layman at? If someone just picked up a katana, how well will they fare against someone with an expert with the rapier, right? Uh, it's not how it works. Okay, the Force isn't going to magically teach Rey how to use a lightsaber. You need training with that. Yeah, even if you want to say that she's some prodigy with the Force, and write off her learning to use mind trick and learning to use force pull and force push like that. Okay, fine. That doesn't excuse her not getting her ass handed to her by someone who is way better with the lightsaber. It's not how it works.
Looking at since this guy used Rebels as a reference point, he should know that Ezra, which is the which is a former apprentice of the Jedi, which he survived. He's I think the last apprentice, or which he's called or something. He survived the whole in Coruscant, but he lost his master, and they go up against Darth Vader and get their fucking asses beat. I mean, he toys with them. You're supposed to tell me that, and they had knowledge within the Force, and you're gonna tell me that Rey, who just picks it up within 30 minutes, can one who is probably just is more proficient than Kanan, I would say, and just beats him. It doesn't make any sense. And looking here in the chat, he said Van Fennel 1980 says I meant because of the crystal thing. Yeah, which is a good point. But this was more of reference to Grievous having his skills. Yeah. Anyways, the conversation which we kind of interrupted. Here, why do you think he was beating his wounds? He was trying to gain power through pain, but failed. And Rey is clearly not perfect. She was bogged down by the memory of her parents, which is she was captured, had her mind read twice, and was knocked unconscious twice. Character explain, well, whatever. Yeah, yet your only complaint is that she's a woman. Um, this is kind of the straw man they're trying to use. No, oh,
What
because she's a woman.
what is her having?
Uh,
Wait, what does her being a woman have to do with any of this?
Nothing.
I mean,
It's lazy writing I'm complaining about.
the guy that used to play Anakin apparently had his life ruined by Star Wars because people hated him so much for how poorly Anakin was written. Was that because he was a guy? Is this what we're going down now?
I don't even know.
It's
uh,
just look up the guy that played Kid Anakin and how he went on to apparently just hate Star Wars. It's anyways. I remember back when the sequel series. Can you hear my chair squeaking like that? Anyways, um, I remember back when the sequel series was still somewhat fresh. Nobody liked Anakin Skywalker, and I mean, it was shit. It's just the way Anakin was written and portrayed, and I mean that certain points how he was acted. I mean, there was not a lot to like about Anakin Skywalker, and nobody really excused that. I mean, to this day, there's nobody that will come up and say, "Oh, hey, it was great." No, no. I mean, you don't want to excuse that. Same thing with Ray. I mean, I think Ray was acted out well. I like the actor. The direction really is anything that she could help. The plot was not that she
I
can.
mean, up until the point she touches the lightsaber, I think that her character is very interesting.
That's really where it falls down for me too. That last act. That is sort of the. I mean, we mentioned this before when we spoke about it. That's where it just sort of takes an abrupt left turn into what the fuck territory. And I mean, I mean, there's a lot of other things. And other more popular YouTubers have really commented on everything else wrong. Um, but I mean, there are a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of things wrong with the movie just overall, not just Ray, but on the matter of Ray herself. I mean, she's not really a redeeming factor here. She's actually the cause of. She's actually the root of one of the biggest plot holes in the movie, coming up right there at the climax of that battle. It's it. I don't. I don't know what that was supposed to be about. I just why
There's no tension there.
there can't be. I mean, what are they gonna do the next time they meet? It's just it's like it,
What was interesting, they should have put this in a fucking movie. You know when she's pretty much beat Kylo Ren, right? And she's standing over him.
hmm.
Um, she has a voice in her head in the book. Kill him, kill him now, or something like that. Repeating it, kill him now. And she somehow considers it, with kind of separates them. That would have made this so much more interesting if she was tapping into her dark side.
I what? I'm sorry. Say that again.
I mean, well, when she had Kylo Ren beat,
Right. And
she had a voice in
she had what?
she had a voice in her head saying, "Kill Kylo, kill him." I don't know if it was Snoke or someone else. Um,
Who said that? That wasn't in the movie.
and yeah, I'm saying it's in the novel.
Oh,
It would have been more interesting to have that than just the Earth
it,
splitting in two.
it would have been interesting to have that in the movie because that would have helped to explain why Ray was doing so well because someone from the outside was manipulating the fight and it was rigged.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been great to consider. Yeah, that would have been nice if they actually put that in the movie somehow. But it seems like it's one of those things that they just sort of ham-fisted in there at the end and try to make sense of this. Which
Novel was written afterwards, so I don't know if it was the author kind of taking small liberties, or if it was actually JJ who wrote that shit. So I don't know. Through his arguments, he says, "Yep, you don't have a clue about Star Wars. Star Wars. Watch the movie. Anyways, I made her an argument that she wasn't really overpowered except for once, um, when he in the forest, when she looked into her mind and just made her unconscious.
hmm.
In At the planet or a star killer, she just force pushed her away, but she came back. She never really overpowered her to begin with, because he was fighting Finn that time. So
Uh,
I
I,
wouldn't really, I wouldn't really say that that's overpowering someone.
um, when when they were fighting Finn, just before we got into the fight with Finn, Kylo Ren used his force push and knocked Rey the fuck out. Just
Yeah,
knock the fuck out. And then she gets up from that and just I mean I don't understand why Kylo didn't do that again. It's not like she could stop him apparently.
yeah, I know. But again, if she was knocked the fuck out, she wouldn't have stood up.
As,
Mary Sue, like trait. How the fuck would someone stand up being shoved 40 feet up into the air and knocked the fuck out?
and then she just gets back up and oh hey it's time to kick your ass now. It's like oh okay it's just
She doesn't even have a scrape on her. It's like she just needed 2 minutes to recover, and so he never really overpowered her. If she didn't really know, if you, yeah, I don't really consider that as overpowering her, because right afterwards. Um, let's see, what was it? Here, because I made the argument, because she knows everything. She knows how to fly. She knows how to fix everything. The ship, the Millennium Falcon, the ship that Han comes and rescues them, which she never had even seen. The controls work. She she can knows the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo does. She can shoot without any training. Troopers, trained fucking stormtroopers, and all the Force stuff. And here is his counter argument. She did have known how to fly ships and had prior experience. She knew how to fix it because she knew what was wrong with it. Not to mention, Han was never good at repairs, shown in Empire Strikes Back.
I mean Han was never good at repairs. Han was pretty let's see Empire Strikes Back. That was Chewie. I don't remember Han being particularly incompetent. And I do remember more than once Han speaking about how he's had to keep that thing rigged together to fly. Um, I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen him in a while. Some of the talk back between him and Leia, they're talking about a flying hunk of junk. I mean, the fact that the Millennium Falcon is, you know, just barely cobbled together, but still old and reliable like some old truck. That's a running gag throughout the entire series. Um, so on that front, I can understand why the Millennium Falcon would still be working. That's just sort of its superpower, as it were.
It's
Uh,
Mary Sue trade.
yeah, right, that's just. I mean, that's just the theme of the ship. It works even though it's shit, right? That's just the Millennium Falcon. Okay, I mean that is what it does. It keeps going. How can I mean? Here's the other thing. She hops into it and starts flying. Very clearly barely knows what the fuck she's doing. She crashes the thing on takeoff. I mean, I understand the Millennium Falcon's a tough bird, but I mean, okay, that should have been the end of the movie right there. Um, Also, why didn't they just shoot the Millennium Falcon when they saw them running towards that either? Right? It doesn't make sense. And then I can understand her being able to barely fly the thing. You know, if you want to invoke the Force about it, but squeezing through those tight corridors and pulling off some of those spins and other maneuvers, it's like, okay, just stretching it more than a little bit. It's like, what the fuck are these TIE fighter pilots doing during all this?
These TIE fighter pilots, the whole thing with the TIE fighters is that they're more maneuverable than any other a
They
ship,
are.
and
They
that's
are.
supposed to be the strength.
It is. And um
It in New Hope when no, is it in New Hope? Yeah, it's New Hope when they go after them, and they have Luke has to help, and Solo are shooting at them constantly, but they're constantly evading them.
right.
That's because they had trouble because the Millennium Falcon couldn't outmaneuver them. So again, the lore doesn't make sense um, within that aspect. Um, Here we go. And you still don't understand the force. Ezra was able to jump 50 plus feet without training. Uh, Anakin was the only human to ever pod race at freaking 9 years old to destroy the Death Star in his first space battle. All of the characters were literally being guided by the force. They were not in control. Kaido was weak. He was imbalanced. Rey was in tune with the force, and she allowed it to guide her. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's retarded. So we want to evoke a bunch of shit that is not established anywhere within the previous media, and it's not established within the movie itself. In order to,
How the fuck can you be imbalanced with the force? That's literally everyone who's not sensitive.
I don't say that. I mean, imbalance with the Force is, um, I imagine that in the context of like what Sith do with Dune Mok. They try to make Jedi emotional because Jedi draw their power from the Force through mostly sheer force of will, through focus, through being able to you know maintain a sort of steady level head throughout everything that they're doing. So when you get them emotional, when you get them all fucked up, you know, then they're off balance in that shit. Sure, I get it. Being off balance is a thing. Only problem is that is not what's happening here. You have a Sith, and I mean you could say Han Solo throws him off balance because Han Solo right there represents everything he's trying to pull away from. That's him battling with the light within himself. But as I said before, he very clearly resolves that challenge. It's he's. I mean, you don't just sort of half-ass into killing your father and sinking into the dark side of the force. Okay, it's not how it works. You don't just
It's
say,
not like, oops,
I was gonna kill my dad real quick and see how it works out. Right? That's not how that works.
yeah, it's not like, oops, I accidentally turned on my lightsaber and killed my dad. I cut off his head. So
Oh man, just and yeah. I mean, even again with Luke flying to a righteous anger. It, no, that's not how it works. It is the exact opposite. And Ghostbusters is going to be tragic. Oh man, that's gonna hurt seeing that.
here we go. Okay, I should just call him Van. In the chat, episode 4 and the argument against Luke being just the same because he made the torpedoes turn into the exhaust on the Death Star. Turns out the simulation at Yavin 4 showed the torpedoes would turn anyway. DS gravity field. Yeah, we saw it before, but they detonated in the first run. They detonated just on the surface.
Well,
That's why
the,
they
the,
needed a precise shot.
the
It wasn't Luke
force.
turning them.
Yeah, Luke didn't use the force to turn them. You used the force to, I guess, super accuracy or something. I mean, that was the deal there.
I think it was his like his reflexes, because you have to be very precise. So he used the exact moment
Right. It was that sort of
to
perfect timing, into yeah. I wasn't
yeah
using the force to bend the fucking torpedoes down. It's not how it works. I mean, you can call that a awkward thing with the animation or how it was presented, but no, very very clearly the pilots did not need to be force sensitive to aim those shots.
yeah
The first run literally just missed. That's it. That was the problem there. That they just missed. It's a hard shot to
yeah.
make.
He was just getting a feeling on when to shoot because the computer wasn't accurate enough, as stated by Wedge during the battle. And here, Corey Five says, you shouldn't have to explain anything anyway, as the Force did it. Yeah, it's a lazy explanation or argument, counter argument. Was oh, it was just the Force. The biggest argument to say that oh, it's the will of God or something. Like it's just a shitty thing. So here are his three counters to me. One, so you're saying that you're ignorant of the Star Wars lore,
That
basically trying,
that the next.
yeah, basically using the no true Scotsman fallacy. Because he was injured and trying to rush, he closed his eyes and refocused. That's when he received the saber.
What?
The exact, I think it was she. She received the saber. The exact same thing that happened with Ray. The hell are you talking about? No indication given to the audience. She closes her eyes. The music swells. Time slows down. She reopened them. She's focused. She's precise. She attacked his wounds.
Do you know Luke had training? Do you know the kind of effort it took for him to pull his lightsaber out of the fucking snow? And you're gonna tell me that Ray with just literally out of the blue. Oh, hey, I know exactly where my state of mind has to be in order to use the force. Really? That's no. Next.
Yeah.
There,
It just that's
there's no there is a precedent for that not working. There is no precedent for it actually working. So no, it's no. There is evidence against this being possible, and there's no evidence really for it working the way you say it should work. I mean, there's shitty writing that says it should work the way you say it should work, and we are saying that the writing is shitty. But if you're trying to say that the writing is good and that there is some type of precedent set for this happening, no. What's the next one?
I just a quick. Someone in the chat says, Access Fiber, because he said I lurk KIE and I miss your post. Yeah, it's a dispute between me and some of the mods. I'm kind of pissed off at them. They threatened to ban me because of posts I made. So the mods, if you want to change their mind,
Wait, mods where?
yeah, on
Oh,
Reddit.
oh, god damn it! Is that how much further has it sunk? I haven't been on it for a while.
You're not missing anything.
Okay.
I stopped because they made a flare of me a king of reposts.
That's cute.
And now they threatened to ban me because I didn't literally go through every thread and look at if there was a repost and said I was making shitty posts and shit like that. So yeah, I just literally had enough. If they don't want me posting the constant bitching, I'm not gonna post there anymore. That's that. But that's another topic. Van says, yeah, Luke didn't get a hold of Force telekinesis until late in episode 5. Had trouble even using Force pull in that episode, in the beginning of episode 5. He had to really freaking focus to save his life. Even really have any proficiency with the lightsaber here either. So yeah, that's a good point. Let's see what other here. I counter arguments against me. I'm serious. It's clear neither of you actually get Star Wars. What happened is stupid.
It is
Whatever.
stupid because everything that we've seen in the Star Wars media speaks against this happening. It's it's so either there's something else, either there's some other radical reinterpretation of the past movies and of all the past lore that somehow makes this acceptable, or this is another in a long series of mistakes throughout the movie that could have been done better. I'm gonna go with the latter. But
there was someone else in the thread here saying, yeah, Luke refocused after training in the Force for 3 fucking years, and this guy, again, saying the White Knight. I'm just gonna call him the White Knight. He was. That's what he is. Not trained until Yoda, and even that training wasn't very long. You don't. It's never specified how long the training is.
well, we know it's not.
The only
We know it's not all that long because they had to go up to Cloud City, and that was that couldn't have been more than like maybe a couple of months or something. You don't have to. Don't look at what's happening with Luke. Look at what's happening with the others when they get taken to Cloud City. That's right off. That's right after they get off of Hoth, right?
No, there's a while, because they go into the asteroid field and stuff like that.
That's right. That's right. Then let's see. When do they actually get? That's right. They get out to go through the asteroid field. Then
and Boba Fett tracks them down to
Cloud City.
Bespin.
So it's not all that long. We see them eating at least at one point, so we know it's probably at least a few days. It doesn't seem like it's really all that long training on Dagobah, especially since he still has no idea what the fuck he's doing when he goes to fight Vader.
I mean, he's not a trained Jedi at that point.
He's not. He's just some guy with a lightsaber that's force sensitive, like Rey. Only she has less than that.
Yeah, but again, he had some skill, and he was trained by the most powerful Jedi ever, which we know within canon. Let's give it maybe a month or two. He still got his ass kicked.
Yeah, and mind you, Kylo Ren not only got trained by Luke Skywalker for an extensive period, but also got trained by fucking Snopes for who knows how long. I mean, the First Order's been a thing for a while, so we know Kylo Ren's been on that bandwagon for some time. All right, so Kylo Ren very clearly has his shit mostly together when it comes to how to use a lightsaber and how to use the Force, especially how to use the Force, stopping that blaster in midair. That was awesome. Anyways, so Kylo Ren knows what the fuck he's doing. Rey, literally, 5 minutes ago, learned what a mind trick was and just woke up from getting her shit blasted by Force Push, and suddenly she's just gonna outclass Ren. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, so going through, he makes an argument that this has been established in lore. Let's see. Again, the Force manifested in her. Anakin was 9 freaking years old and could pilot pod racers. Rey is a fully grown adult who had an understanding about the Force. She didn't know about the fucking Force until she touched the lightsaber. Um, Renz literally says she is strong with the Force, stronger than she knows. Thus, knowing her raw, untrained power was superior to his. That's not what. That's making conclusions without facts. He goes on to say she's only testing her powers. The longer is out, the more dangerous she becomes.
No, that's not how it works. That is the exact opposite of how it works. I mean, you mean to say that if the fight between Luke and Vader had gone on for a couple more minutes, that Luke would have just not got his hand cut off? It's very clearly ending one way.
You,
It should
in
have.
Star Wars, you can't just make a shonen jump in Star Wars.
I know, right? Oh,
For those who don't,
it's fucking
for
anime.
those
It's fucking anime. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Ray is anime. The end.
it's for those who don't know the reference shonen jump. It's basically when someone suddenly becomes Super Saiyan when they're basically beat. That's what Shonen Jump. So when basically there is nothing left, no way out. The character who is seemingly dead suddenly becomes uber powerful and just the opponent.
It is something it's something that you see a lot in Dragon Ball and in all I mean it's essentially Fist of the North Star and all of its derivative animes from Dragon Ball to Bleach to Naruto. Just at any time someone's really down on the ropes and they make this amazing ass pull and suddenly they're on top again. Something that you don't really see in Star Wars. It just doesn't. You don't see it in Star Wars. You do not. Even Luke wasn't that
Which
far
why
down.
doesn't make any fucking sense. And here, unlike Luke, who had a lot of self doubt, Rey was not afraid to use her powers, much like Anakin or Ezra. She was able to tap into her abilities and then be guided by the Force. Again, fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
So is that really what this guy's arguments amount to? Trying to tell Star Wars fans that they're not Star Wars fans because they don't agree with him, and then pulling up a bunch of shit from the extended universe that doesn't apply here, and then radical misinterpretation of everything else in the prior media. Is that really all he has?
But it's also this is basically the same kind of arguments that I've seen in the previous streams we posted, and it goes further. He says she doesn't fit the definition of a Mersu. You literally admitted that you don't know the lore when you said TFA makes no sense and was stupid. Okay. Um, let's see here. Um, no, and he says she was overpowered 3 times. She fights one severely injured, weak, broken guy with the power.
I'm sorry. Here's the deal. So
Um,
so wait a minute. Let's assume that Kylo Ren really is completely like limp and broken and all that stuff. That that still doesn't excuse Rey. I mean, it's not like Darth Vader was really, exactly nimble in his duel with Luke Skywalker, right? It's he doesn't need much. I mean, why wasn't he this like? Why didn't Ray have like snowballs and branches and may as well have just fucking picked up Finn himself and threw him at Ray. For all that, Kylo Ren knows how to use the Force here. I mean, it's not like it's no. I mean, Kylo Ren was still very fully, in control of his force powers because he was using them left and right to just, completely wreck these people's shit. I mean, right before she picked up the saber. So, at what point is Rey? I mean, it's not like she knows what she's doing when she's picking up that lightsaber. It's the first time she's ever held that thing, and she's just sort of. I mean, Luke, that was done well when he picked up the lightsaber. Didn't know what he was doing. He was swinging that thing around like a fucking baseball bat. That was great. Rey is all fucking, woo Jedi, fucking ninja with that shit. It's, I don't know. The choreography between Finn and Kylo Ren and Rey and Kylo Ren is radically different, and not in a good way. Because between Finn and Kylo Ren, you got that sense of the sort of old school direction. That's how the lightsaber fights were in the original series, right? And then with Rey, you get the whole episode one prequel series thing going, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the more we dig into it, the more I find that I don't really like about it, and it gets nitpicky past the point because all these small things aren't really the big issue at hand. I mean, these smaller things I can eventually get over and just write them off as a shit direction, but uh, it should never have gotten to that point, right? The fight with Rey and Kylo Ren should never have even gotten to that point. There's nothing that establishes that she would be anywhere near remotely skilled enough to stand up to him, even if you assume that he is so crippled and injured that he can barely hold up on his own, right? I mean, you're gonna tell me that Rey is suddenly just better than Finn with a lightsaber, even though Finn actually has some kind of training with it? No, that's not how it
The
works.
only the only time I've seen not seen or a Sith continue a fight, they're actually killed or they've been dismembered somehow. How? Or in Vader's case, in Episode 6, they're fucking dying from being from the lightning from the Emperor.
Yeah, this is true. That's what it took to end them.
Yeah, so end a Sith or a Jedi, there's some circumstances like in Episode the Dooku basically uses Anakin and Obi-Wan as decoys when he uses the Force and tries to smash them with a, I don't know what you call that thing, um, and escapes. It's because he doesn't see a way out of his thing. And in this case, this was a fight to the death, basically. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would he Ran even go into a fight if he's so fucking weak? So unless it just doesn't make any sense. Um,
Yeah, that is a good point. Why did Kylo Ren even bother to go up and fight them instead of leaving? What? Why? I mean, what? Why? Why did he even? It's what was the point? Why didn't he just force push Rey into another tree, go and physically pick up the lightsaber, and then leave?
and take her with him to Snoke.
I mean, did it? Yeah, I mean, and the only reason they even wanted her was because of the map, and they got that. And I guess she's force sensitive, and that's cool and all, but I mean, really, it's fucking leave guy.
And it doesn't make anything. Here in the chat saying even with Dragon Ball, it still took Goku entire episodes to beat Frieza. Well, in the manga, Goku mops the floor with Frieza. The Anima prolonged the fight a lot. Yeah, well, kind of the Shonen Jump thing. Go back on the Ghostbuster thing
Oh, you see, even no,
because
no, no,
I
no.
I wanted to.
No, no, because the Dragon Ball Z thing, God, that makes it worse. Because at least in Dragon Ball Z, they had really, really, really played up the whole Super Saiyan thing, and I mean, if you ever watch the abridged series, they really dig in on this. How they went back to the whole Super Saiyan thing time and time and time and time again throughout the entire Namek saga until it finally happened, right? So, Goku, that wasn't really an ass pull in the same sense that this was an ass pull. I mean, there was nothing, not even hinted at. There's not. It is purely out of the blue when Rey just sort of up and becomes a skilled Jedi master, which is pretty much what she would have to be in order to beat Kylo Ren at what he was established to be at. I'm sorry, go on.
In this case, it wasn't just a power up with a Super Saiyan, because to become a Super Saiyan, you had to kind of dig deep and to explain. It wasn't just powering up. You said in the hyperbolic time turbo, way, way, way off topic. Anyways, segueing into the Ghostbusters thing again. Uh, again, looking at the trailers for Star Wars, were very well received because they were well constructed trailers. And if you look at the Ghostbusters trailers, they're shit. No escape to that. They're shit, and it's not because they're women. It's because the trailers are shit. Confusing because in the first like 15 seconds, they try to use nostalgia, even though this is a reboot. It doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it a reboot? Is it a passing the torch sequel? Is it? I don't know. They haven't really established that. Especially since they apparently have characters from the original Ghostbusters in the movie. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what comes out of it, but it's not looking good.
My suspicions are that use the old storyline and just exploit the what others have done before, and the characters unfallible, which I suspect they are. Because, the director is a clear fan of Anita Sarkeesian,
That,
and has called and the nerd culture for toxic or assholes. What was the word?
so they're pretty much gonna be stereotypes that have like the one or two token faults that are really not really faults. They're just sort of more character quirks than anything. So God, is it gonna be like one of those deviant art fan write ups of why their character isn't a Mary Sue and isn't it perfect? It hurts. It hurts my heart. It hurts.
So far, everything points just towards that. Even the producer, Amy Pascal, who's the one who's gonna try and make the Zoe Quinn movie, is the one behind this atrocity. And looking at the comments, or even it's the most downvoted uh, trailer of all time. It's because it's a shitty trailer. It's a Streisand effect when you delete comments and try to blame it on misogyny. When Ghostbusters is one of the most beloved series or franchises in history, it would be, let's say, compare it to Jurassic Park. It would be like making the versus robots and mixing it with Sharknado or something, like spitting on the legacy of what's come before. That's what I'm getting. What did you think of? I don't know. Have you seen all the criticisms?
Of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them. I've seen. Oh my God, why am I even looking up Bob? He comes so close, and he's someone that I suspect a lot of these white knights would actually know and pay attention to. So I'm using that as a reference. I generally don't care for fucking movie Blob, but he is someone that they would listen to because he is sort of that example I was telling you about earlier of the non-millennials, the actual Generation Xers and slightly beyond, who you think would know better about this shit, but apparently they don't. They're just desperate for the attention. They jump on the bandwagon. But I mean, he's a good reference point. He goes over exactly why everything with the Ghostbusters reboot is going to be shit, and it is tragic. I mean, if you just cut off like the second half of his video when he tries to dial it all back and do this whole Hail Mary excuse deal for why idiots are sticking up for it anyways. But shy of that, I guess entire second half of the vid. I mean, everything he's walking up to in the beginning is there. I mean, the actors are, for all intents and purposes, pretty good. Even if you're not really into that kind of comedy, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, they aren't really what is hurting the movie in this case. It's everything else. It's everything else from the precedent to the poorly constructed trailers to the overabundant CGI. That's it's just shit. There is
Yeah.
nothing about this that's being presented right, and it's tragic because
Yeah.
for people like Blob and these other white knights, it's everything that they're afraid of.
Everything that's related to the horror or the supernatural has been just taken away. It looks like the CGI doesn't look scary at all. Because if you take a look at the dog, I don't even know if you can, a demon dog or whatever it was in the first movie. Um, it looked scary, and the old lady in the library, she looked scary. But it had a lot of seriousness around
Yeah,
the movie.
is this supposed to be scary or funny? I guess. I mean, the original Ghostbusters didn't really draw. I mean, there wasn't a lot scary in the original Ghostbusters. I mean, there were things that within the world itself that other people found scary, but nothing that was supposed to spook the audience per se, right?
No, 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 that's not what I meant. But it had like a little horror in it. Like it was supposed to be a little spooky. But in the new thing, it just slapstick. It looks so cartoony. It doesn't. It just looks like a bunch of cartoons with the CGI. Look with it has a serious undertone. Even the Ghostbusters had a serious undertone, even though it had a lot of humor. I don't know if you agree with that.
I see where you're coming from, and I do somewhat agree. The way that the horror element is presented in the reboot, it's it's different and not in a good way. Um, at least the way I remember the first Ghostbusters, there was like some suspense and some kind of very horror light thing going there, but that was mostly like there were things that like how do I explain this? It was presented in a way where you understood why the people in the movie in the universe would find it scary, but it wasn't something that was supposed to sort of intimidate you, the viewer, per se, right? It
Yeah,
was something to
exactly.
build suspense. Whereas in the sequel series, they're really trying to go with the edgy, ooh, you're supposed to be afraid of this sort of thing. It's nasty sort of deal. It's that they're not really portraying it through the interaction with the characters like they did in the first. It's just look at how scary it is and blah. It's like no, you can't do that. I mean, what?
I
It's
mean,
lazy. It's lazy.
the second trailer even with a dragon or whatever, the ghost dragon or the wing thing, gargoyle, whatever it is. Um, it doesn't even look scary. It just looks like a cartoon on Leslie Jones's shoulders, and they're taking selfies. No suspense or anything serious behind it. It's just slapstick humor, people screaming, and uh, there's no character depth from what I've seen. What do you think? Put yourself, Mathanath.
Oh, I didn't mean. Sorry. I was gonna say it's tragic. I mean, we could go on for this for so long and then just pick apart every little thing about what's been presented so far that makes it seem like it's going to be shit. I mean, ultimately, it's at the point where there isn't much more you can say until we actually see the movie. In principle, the
Yeah,
movie needs to be out, but just from what's been released so far, I mean, it's possible they could just have like a really shit guy who's in charge of this, right? And the movie could be good. I mean, that's happened before, not often, but I mean, there's no reason to think that it could be good, but it might be. It might surprise us. I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but
yeah.
um,
I would say there's a 10% chance, but just looking at with
yeah.
every video game nerd being called a misogynist and
Ah, that's
all
not
kinds of
even. That's an issue that's greater than Ghostbusters itself. That's not even really related to the movie. That's back when we hinted at the whole, wannabe culture war and people thinking that they have to defend stupid shit like this because of some greater consequence to it. And that's a it's there's a parallel, but it is technically a tangent topic because whether or not Ghostbusters even existed, that's an issue with these, what we're essentially calling social justice warriors. And it goes beyond Ghostbusters, it goes beyond Gamergate. It's just this entire new, I guess the new left. I want to call. I don't even know if calling them left is appropriate because
aggressive left.
the regressive left. That's yeah, that's right. That tagline did start sticking after a while. The regressives. That's really it's all about the regressives and the dumb shit that they get over. Um,
For the people who don't know, aggressive left are basically the people who advocate for acceptance and representation and except for that they are the ones who are racist against basically males and cis males mostly. So just a little for those who don't know what it is. So Fry says this movie was just to make a quick buck and to keep the rights. I'm not sure if they were gonna
no,
lose the
that's not
rights.
even. Yeah, I was gonna say. Copyright law. I mean, fucking God, this chair. um, Copyright. How old is Ghostbusters? It's not even like it's nowhere near close to.
So 32 years old.
Yeah, they
So
still got another generation before they're even at risk of losing the rights to it, and they didn't even need to make a movie for that either. Anyways, copyright law in general is another tangent issue. Um, but Jesus, it does seem like it's just another in a long series of quick cash in reboots because people in Hollywood are running out of fucking ideas and they don't want to risk new IPs, which there's a lot to be said about that. But um,
I mean,
without going to
it's not the reboots that's the issue. it's lazy writing. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, you, you you could look at something like Dragon Ball Evolution, and you have other reboots, RoboCop and all that shit, which wasn't called Misandries at all. It's shitty writing, and you have good or quote unquote good. It's subjective, but the rebooted franchise of Fast and Furious, people know the new Fast and Furious over the old one,
Well, that's because the old
and
one sort of buried itself dead into the dirt and then got into a car crash.
yeah, and you have
I'm sorry. The old one crashed and burned. I shouldn't say
yeah,
that. How could he?
you also have the new Planet of the Apes,
That was good
which
because the old Planet of the Apes was pretty much in the same situation. I mean, the first one was it was classic for a lot of sort of nostalgic reasons, but if you go back and watch it again, that movie hasn't really aged all that well. And then if you look at the sequels to it, it's just like fucking come on. I'm not gonna call it garbage, but I mean they have not aged very well. Okay, and the reboot was pretty well done because I mean it's a very simple concept. They didn't need to fuck it up at all. I mean I liked it. Um, I mean there's some things I didn't like about it. Don't get me wrong. I can shit on that all day, but I prefer it over the original for a lot of reasons. Um,
but again, it's not. I know people say reboots are shit. Um, and that's
in
not true. Even the
in general, they are. I mean, a good reboot is rare. So I mean, it's good.
true, but again, you have to look at the individual
Right.
case by case
Uh,
because not always the case. Just a little update. The guy who was supposed to do the stream with me said he posted this. Literally, I told you I posted him the stream because I was debunking him on air. So told you I was busy yesterday, and again, post your own thoughts, not copy paste or post links or what everyone else says.
well, listen, either that guy's gonna show up or he's gonna post something. But I mean, fuck his opinion at this point.
I'm already debunked his counterclaim, so at this point.
I mean, you say that those are his counterpoints, but I mean, it sounds like this is literally the same shit we addressed the first time. I mean, has he brought up
Yeah,
anything new? I mean, is there really anything new brought up in defense of this shit? I mean, I'm not seeing anything new. I'm seeing really the same few points, attacking old fans and calling them not fans because they didn't read into some of the most obscure, irrelevant shit that has nothing to do with, what's being addressed, or the misogyny angle, and that's really
yeah.
it. Is there
Again,
anything else?
I mean, they're using the no true Scotsman fans because we're not real fans. We don't have real knowledge.
That's
Don't know what
retarded.
we're talking about.
I mean, this isn't a fucking scientific field here. I mean, even people who don't know a lot about Star Wars can find fault with this, and that is legitimate because the movie needs to be weighted on its own merits. And if you need information outside of the movie to understand what is happening within the movie, then that is a fault of the movie. That is a bad movie. It is not good. If you should not, it's the same problem with like the Twilight series and all of those. What's her face? That one chick who's the other chick who's like trying to make Twilight, but it's not Twilight. The rip off of the Hunger Games chick. Um,
Jennifer Lawrence.
she wrote Divergent, and then the other thing. But they're pretty much the same exact fucking movie with the palette swap chick. I think that's her name. Okay, same shit there. If you have to read the book to understand what's happening in the movie, then it's a shit movie. Okay, that's not how it's supposed to work. That is a fault of the media. So that argument falls flat on its face, not only because a lot of what they pull off is irrelevant anyways, but also because the very fact that they're invoking the argument is just candid admission of one of the biggest faults within the movie. The fact that this shit is not presented, it's not explained within the movie like it should be, and there's plenty of points in the movie. There's plenty of shit in the movie. Plenty of irrelevant, just sort of dragged on shit that could have been cut out in order to make room for something that would explain some of this. It's not a lot. I mean, even having the Snape, no, not Snape, Snope. Just call him Snape. Even having Snow, doing that whisper thing to Ray when it looked like she was beating Kylo Ren. That would have introduced some kind of speculation about someone completely rigging that fight. It would have been great. If you're saying I have to read the book in order to understand that, you can go fuck yourself. That just means you're admitting the movie is shit. And
Yeah.
the conversation.
Just to that point, them blowing up the planets in the first
God, that's not how
or
it
in
works either. Oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Why did they even have to redo that? And also, why did they just keep blowing up more shit anyways? It doesn't make sense.
yeah, but the whole thing that why it's a big deal that they're blowing up the planets never fucking explained. But for someone who's read the books, I've heard of people who actually or read the books. It made sense to them. Someone who freaking book uh, that has no knowledge or information.
Shit.
It's lazy shit writing.
It's shitty writing. It is shitty writing. And it's not like it would have taken them very long to explain what was important about those
Yeah,
planets. Or more
not even.
importantly, why didn't you just aim that shit at the rebel base to begin with and
Yeah,
end the movie?
it's not even Easter egg. If you know something from um like if you have a comic book and there's a small reference to a villain or a sidekick. Batman versus Superman, you see in the trailer the suit of Robin. That's an Easter egg. It's a little nod to the fans, and not everyone is gonna know it. That's totally fine if you have it in a movie, but it's something this big, all across the board. It's not even Easter eggs. It's just they don't bother even explaining it.
Batman versus
Um,
Superman was also tragic for the exact opposite reason.
well, I liked it, but
I
that's a
mean,
whole different.
I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand what. I understand all the faults with it, but I mean, I liked it. There's things I would have preferred, but what really got me was that
Oh,
I'm like,
it's not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie, but giving the this Batman versus Superman a lower rating than Sharknado and The Room
let's just
is fucking stupid.
that's just making a point. I get it. You're explaining some shit to him, but it's not that bad of a movie. I mean, what I particularly like is that the actors weren't phoning it in. I mean, maybe Ben Affleck passed the point because you've seen some of the interviews with him. But like, if you look back at what the actors' perspectives on it were, right? They didn't make it for the critics. They tried to really play into it for the fans. I respect that, and it's also why I respect the actors in The Force Awakens because they're people who are really into it, not just phoning it in for a paycheck. They understand who they are and what this means to the fans, and they do it for the fans. And I appreciate that because a lot of the things that go wrong are really outside of their power. I mean, Zack Snyder can eat a big fat dick sometimes, and J.J. Abrams just needs to get his head out of his ass a lot of other times. So I mean, it's not that I dislike Ray as a concept or dislike the actor. I mean, I like both of them. It's just the way they're portrayed in the movie is shit, and that needs to be that you cannot allow that. I mean, especially you people who are so adamant about defending her, and you need to admit those flaws and make sure that they aren't just doubled down on in the next movie. That's uh, that's tragic.
Which is kind of my point. Um, I don't know if there's anything more to say about Ghostbusters or Ray. If there are, I would at this point I would have people on air to discuss these points, and I would like to have you on air with me uh, I'm getting sick of these freaking white knights. Either blaming it on misogyny or just at this point. If people are watching this afterwards and really have a passionate argument for that Ray is such a good character, or Ghostbusters afterwards, we could have a discussion, but mainly with Ray and Star Wars being a shitty movie. Actually have invite people on the stream and try see if they can actually defend their positions. So I don't know if you have actually anything to say.
There's not really much else left to say. I mean, is there? I mean, we've covered just about everything else. I mean, the actors themselves are pretty good. The characters aren't necessarily bad, even if they're portrayed poorly. And a lot of the faults with the movies fall down to the directors who are not being held accountable for any of this. I mean, for people who really, really like Ray, which is fine, why aren't you guys on up J.J. Abrams' ass for fucking it up? That's who you need to be going after, not going after the fucking critics who you think are somehow this like they're fucking enemies of Ganon that you need to stop, or I don't know, just the perception that these people have of why they hold up for this shit. I mean, it's another topic if it's related, but I don't understand it. I don't understand what the fuck they're thinking when they go up and do shit like this. I honestly think that there's like a consequence to, validating the criticisms of the things that they like. Like it's not. It's that's shit. Also, it's like 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to go soon.
Well,
I'm sorry. It's just that's how I feel, but I just looked at the clock. It's like, oh man, we've been at this for a while.
yeah,
But yeah, start with
almost um, something like that. Yeah, yeah, 1 hour 47 minutes at this point. Yeah, if people wanna comment a bit on this afterwards, go ahead. You, or you could reach me on Twitter if you really wanna have discussion. And yeah, I'm at the underscore underdog. So I don't know if you want to share your Twitter.
I'm Mathnaut on Twitter, but I'm not really. I mean, I used to spurge about on Twitter like all the time. Not as much as I used to. It's Twitter's gotten really weird. The Gamergate hashtag has gotten all awkwardly political, and there's not a lot of happenings, and it's drama. And yeah, I mean, I'm still there. If you message me, I'll respond. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, math not.
All right,
I don't really make content like I used to.
I'm gonna leave it at that. And yeah, thanks guys for watching.
All right.
Bye.